Hi everyone, it's me, and today let's watch the game tiers. A flag. Dream! What's happening?
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that's like a baby zombie.
Oh, wow. Hello internet, welcome to Game Theory. Yeah, hello.
Small and unassuming, but persistent and dangerous. Today, I'm here to talk about the Dream SMP. And now that I've said that, I'm sure that all of my viewers probably fall into one of two camps. Those yelling, "At last our prayers are answered," and those that are wondering what the heck I'm talking about. So at this point,
You'll be like saying that, oh my god, yes! And then it's like, huh? What is that? Like, should I know about that?
if you care at all about Minecraft or YouTube or Minecraft YouTubers, you've probably heard of a guy named Dream. He's become famous for a lot of things, including manhunt videos, unsolved mystery videos, as well as an appearance on one of this channel's very own Minecraft lore videos. Excuse me, why is there a big neon green block creature in my video? But what?
Neon dream block creature.
One of the things that's really blown up over the course of the last year is the Dream SMP, or Survival Multiplayer Server. So you might be thinking, Survival Multiplayer Server, so it's just Dream playing Minecraft with a lot of his friends, and, well, yeah, sort of. The truth is that the Dream SMP is to Minecraft Survival Multiplayer what professional wrestling is to, well, the sport of wrestling.
So it's like SMP, Survival Multiplayer Server. Interesting.
Which is to say, it's structured improv. There's a story here, made by a team of writers. Yeah, writers, plural. It's not to say that everyone's reading from a script. While the broad strokes of the plot are planned out, all of the connective tissue between those major plot beats is improvised. And of course, there's room for plenty of unexpected gameplay moments.
No. My thing! No.
That wasn't in the script. That wasn't in the script. Just wait. That wasn't in the script.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the world of professional wrestling, that is what we call a shoot, or a moment in professional wrestling that's unplanned, unscripted, or just an actual real-life occurrence. Am I ruining this for anyone in the audience? We all know that professional wrestling is scripted, right? Trying to summarize the timeline of
It's like, yay, but ouch. Who's not following the script? Like, who is not following the script? You? Who is not following the script?
the Dream SMP is like trying to summarize the timeline of the 20th century. If I tried to start, I'd have to cover the birth of a nation in no fewer than 4 separate wars. And that's not me making a joke or trying to make an analogy here. A lot of the story here is political in nature, with the ongoing narrative being one of a nation in turmoil, with warring political factions trying to gain power over the populace by any means necessary. And all of it is taking place within live streams. Lots and lots of very long live streams. There have been over 30 people involved in this thing, with the narrative playing out over hundreds of hours of live streaming. Actually, just saying hundreds of hours is understating it, because totaling up all the live streams across multiple channels to see the POV of multiple participants already gives you close to 100 videos to watch, and any one of those could be upwards of 6 to 8 hours in length. It feels almost impossible to catch up with this thing too, considering how often new live streams are happening. Seriously, I feel like I have to put a disclaimer here that the script for this video is being written right before Christmas, which almost guarantees that by the time it comes out, the things I'm predicting have either been proven right or horribly wrong. At the same time, I could not talk about this thing. It was, without question, the biggest thing happening in gaming in 2020, just behind Among Us. A group of friends blowing up together on Twitch because they're using Minecraft to create an ongoing improv narrative is incredible and absolutely worthy of attention. Plus, I was getting a lot of requests on Twitter to do a theory about this, and I didn't want to ignore you guys. movies. At MattPatGT, by the way. Plus, I'm a musical theater nerd. I hear a Hamilton reference, I like it.
I practice law. Wilbur. Work next door.
Even though we started at the very same time, Tommy Innit began to climb. How to account for his rise to the top?
Man, the Hamilton references are non-stop. And since we are on the subject of Hamilton the musical actually provides a really good framework for how to approach telling a story with the scope of everything that's happening in the Dream SMP. Much like Hamilton took a series of history-defining events spanning several decades and condensed it down into a 3-hour musical character study, this
By the way, fun fact. I think that the musical is just remarkable, right? Just remarkable.
theory is going to be taking a series of events spanning several months of 6+ hour long live streams and condense it down into, well, something kind of resembling a character study centering on one specific hero. And spoilers for those of you who don't know the ending of Hamilton, but this story also ends in tragedy. In short, today's video is all about who history has had its eyes on and who you should have your eyes on going forward in the Dream SMP. And spoiler alert, he's already dead. And with that intro, allow me to tell you the tragic tale of the rise and fall of a tyrant, and why he might be poised to rise once again, this time from beyond the grave. For a bit of background, there are several major factions that exist within the Dream SMP, the largest of which is, confusingly enough, named Dream SMP. For the sake of clarity, most have taken to referring to this faction as the Greater Dream SMP, and I'm gonna follow their lead. It's the closest thing to being a neutral faction, almost a sort of default faction for the characters who haven't split off to do their own thing.
So not sure if you know, right? In general, people tend to understand it as friendly, neutral, and hostile. Yeah, it can also be aggressive as well. So, yeah.
As you might guess, it's led by its founder, Dream. Dream also gets executive veto over who's allowed in the server. For instance, back in July, when Jay Schlatt joined the server for the first time, he was banned very shortly after, since Dream didn't know him. When it's your party, you get to decide who's on the guest list, I suppose. The first major faction to declare its independence from the Greater Dream SMP was L'Manberg, back in late July, with the war for independence between L'Manberg and the Dream Team faction finally settling in
back in mid-2020.
early August. L'Manberg started as an autocratic nation state with self-appointed dictator, President Wilbursuit, presiding with Tommy Innit as his right-hand man. However, that dictator for life thing didn't really pan out long-term. After all, a ruler only rules by the consent of the governed, and despite the fact that Wilbursuit had declared himself supreme leader, the citizens weren't taking his orders all that seriously. So what do you do if you want to shore up legitimacy as a ruler? You hold a democratic election.
I'm running for president. The reason I'm running for president is because, well, I felt like it was unfair of me to decide myself to be a dictator.
Okay, so maybe if you want to believe the man himself, it was because he grew a conscience. Anyway, Wilbursuit, joined by Tommy Innit as his running mate, ran as the Politicians of Gaming, or POG for short.
Oh, they use POG. Oh my gosh. That is a Twitch reference. Oh my gosh. I love it.
The problem with Democratic
Politicians of
elections is that, well, people can run against you. Quackity, who'd been up to that point a L'Manberg outsider, decided to run against him because, well, you've got to have yourself an opposition party.
My name is Quackity, and I'm running for president simply because I didn't think it was fair for Wilbursuit to run a one-party democratic election, or so democratic as he wants to call it. It's very unfair for Wilbur and all the people in L'Manberg to vote for just one party.
Quackity ran under the party banner of So We Are Gamers, or SWAG for short, choosing George
Oh my gosh, they're using POG and swag. Oh my gosh, this is getting so meta. Now that's OP.
not found as his running mate, who promptly lived up to his name by failing to show up to the presidential debate. Way to have a brand and stick to it, man. Oh, and you heard me right, presidential debate. The parties of Swag 2020 and POG 2020 ran full-on campaigns, including key endorsements. Quackity was at an immediate disadvantage here, as his one key alleged endorsement, KSI, never actually showed up.
My one endorsement is KSI. He just hasn't happened to responded yet to my endorsement plead. He's my one endorsement.
KSI? More like KSI not found. Him and George not found playing Yahtzee in the corner. Wilbur and Tommy Innit, wanting to assure the voters that they were the party that best represented the will of the people, touted several key endorsements. The most notable of them came from Jay Schlatt. Now, you might be asking yourself, wait, Jay Schlatt, didn't I just say that he was banned back in July, several months before the election took place? And that was what the crowd said too. But apparently a server ban wasn't about to stop Wilbur and Tommy from bringing him in to deliver the key endorsement.
Now, after doing a lot of negotiations,
Get out
boys,
of here. I've got
managed
my
to...
endorsement. Here he comes. The one, the only.
He's back in town!
Except Jay Schlatt's endorsement speech went very quickly off the rails.
Democracy is overrated. You
The
think
script.
you need a president? I'll be my own president.
Stick to the script. Off the stage, please. Off the stage.
Anyway, with this wild card entering the race, things had thoroughly gone to chaos. With Jay Schlatt actually challenging him, Wilbur and Tommy decided to resort to political horse trading. In order to avoid the possibility of a Jay Schlatt presidency, why not invite Swag 2020 to join Pog 2020 to form a giant super party, SWOG? A few
Swag. Oh my gosh! They're just getting more meta and meta. Pog, swag, and swag. Oh my gosh! Oh.
fusion event so great that it would be guaranteed to beat Jay Schlatt. Unfortunately, it backfired. The good news was that Quackity, who didn't actually want to be president and was only running as a challenger to Wilbur, was willing to give his party's votes to another party. The bad news was that he chose Jay Schlatt.
I was enticed by your swag idea until you immediately admitted to me that you would only use me for votes. You guys have clearly been trying to use me this entire time. So it's Schlatt 2020.
It's the kind of thing that makes you think maybe from the start that this was all a ruse by Jay Schlatt, promising to endorse Pog 2020 only to get himself unbanned and then enter the fray and take over for himself. The man over here is executing some epic big brain maneuvers. In the end, Pog 2020 won 45% of the vote, Swag 2020 won 30% of the vote, Jay Schlatt won 16% of the vote. With Swag giving its votes to Jay Schlatt wins the election with a combined total of 46%, barely beating out Pog's 45%. And that is where the reign of terror begins. Jay Schlatt, having effectively hijacked the democratic process, decided that it was time to run the old party out of town.
My first decree as the president of L'Manberg, the emperor of this great country, is to revoke the citizenship of Wilbur Soot and Tommy Innit.
Get him out of here.
Wilbur Soot and Tommy Innit were exiled. The Pog 2020 campaign was no more, but it lived on in spirit within the nation of Pogtopia, building their own secret base of operations and working with a few members of the administration who managed to avoid exile. That's right, they had a spy on the inside of Jay Schlatt's operation, and that spy's name was Tubbo.
Oh my god, this just got so much more meta. Oh wow.
Despite winning the election, Jay Schlatt was
So you should not admit that you are just using people. You should not admit in front of the face. Don't admit it in front of the face. And also, even if it's truthful, just don't admit it and just find a good reason to do so. Is that what you're trying to say?
wasn't really winning over the people. You know, calling democracy a lie, immediately exiling half the population, ain't gonna win you too many friends. So to get a few popularity points, he began planning the Manberg Festival as a celebration of democracy, with Tubbo to plan the events and deliver the keynote speech. Tubbo and the old guard seized the opportunity to upstage the festival by placing TNT under the event stage. All Tubbo had to do was to give his speech and run away before the TNT went off, but Jay Schlatt had other plans.
Our people have been beaten down by rulers and dictators for so long. Now we are finally free. Free to elect who we want, free to live how we want. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to this wonderful event. What's wrong, Schlatt?
No, it's just, I was just thinking about it, Tubbo.
Nothing sinister at all about that laugh. By the end of the speech, Jay Schlatt had encased the undercover spy Tubbo in yellow concrete, sentencing him to immediate execution.
Help me do something real quick.
Okay.
Schlatt, what are you?
Yeah.
Schlatt, what are you doing?
Tubbo,
Yeah?
I know what you've been up to.
Actually,
With the tyrants that we kicked out of this server, that we kicked out of this great country. Do you know what happens to traitors, Tubbo?
Tubbo was sentenced to death by rocket launcher, with Tubbo's ally Technoblade being the one to serve as executioner. There was a little accidental collateral damage, with Jay Schlatt also dying in the explosion, but don't worry, he got better. Across all
Yeah, accidental. Oops. Sorry.
All of these events, one thing should be painfully clear. Jay Schlatt is, in D&D terms, totally lawful evil. Wilbur Soot, not the character, but the out-of-character writer, who's the closest thing we have to a creative authority for this chapter of the SMP, confirmed in a Reddit post, quote, Schlatt is very lawful evil. Schlatt follows one creed. I was elected fairly. I will rule until I lose the next election. He uses this power malevolently to assert dominance and punish rebellious factions.
Lawfully.
Emphasis on punishment. Schlatt isn't very concerned with keeping order or even maintaining justice. His priority is delivering suffering and pain to those he sees as deserving it under the law. Now, after this failed attempt at insurgency, it was only inevitable that Jay Schlatt's Manberg would go to war with Pogtopia.
Like, come on, can't we just work together instead of punishing, instead of helping, instead of punishing, instead of just hatred? Why can't we love each other? I know that's the good thing about video games, is that we can play out these scenarios. It's like, all these scenarios, it's like all these thought experiments that we just think of, now we can just play it out in real life and see how human interaction actually works. That's wonderful.
With Jay Schlatt's reign of terror coming to an end in the most anticlimactic way possible. Running away from the fighting, stumbling into the hot dog van that originally served as the nexus for Wilbur Soot and Tommy and its drug empire, getting drunk and experiencing what appeared to be a stroke or a heart attack.
Anybody smell toast?
For those of you who don't know, smelling toast is actually a classic symptom of having a stroke. Anyway, the much beloved leader received a massive funeral, with everyone behaving with exactly the level of reverence and decorum that you'd expect them to show for Jay Schlatt.
His entire body was picked apart and taken.
What remains weren't taken as souvenirs, were recovered by Quackity as part of a plot of his own.
I have a plan. Within my possession are all 5 of Jay Schlatt's bones. I busted that grave open and I took it.
Wait, you're gonna try and bring Jay Schlatt back to life?
We bring Jay Schlatt back to life. But you know what Frankenstein did when he brought Frankenstein 2 back to life? Frankenstein 2 was under his command. You know what this means? We can use Jay Schlatt as a political puppet.
Quackity, did you actually read the book? Because if your takeaway was Frankenstein animated a monster and it was completely under his control and totally did not backfire at all, you might want to read a few of those chapters again. So with that level setting out of the way, what follows are my predictions about the future of the Dream SMP. And it all centers around one man in particular. First off, in case it wasn't obvious, we haven't seen the last of Jay Schlatt. And I'm not just talking about his appearance as a ghost in a live stream of questionable canonicity.
Is this like part of the plot that you guys script?
It's pretty, you know what, it's fine, it's fine. How are you doing?
He's been too big a player for far too long to simply be written out of existence. And more importantly, the groundwork has been laid for his eventual resurrection. Wilbur Soot mentioned on a live stream that the team was playing with the idea that each character gets 3 canon deaths before it's considered permanent.
Everyone gets 3
Everyone gets 3 canon deaths.
before they real life die, yes.
Even if we count Jay Schlatt's death during the festival rocket launcher explosion as canon, between that and his heart attack / stroke, he's yet to use up all his lives. Besides, this is too good of an opportunity for history to repeat itself in an absolutely poetic fashion. Because while Jay Schlatt is lawful evil and motivated to punish people for going against him, his role as Punisher is much more central than that. Jay Schlatt is almost like a karmic force of the universe who punishes people for their hubris. Remember, the entire reason he was able to rejoin the server in the first place was because the POG 2020 party thought it would be politically advantageous for them to receive his endorsement. They looked to use Jay Schlatt as a tool to achieve their own political ends, and it backfired horribly, leading to them not only losing the election, but being forced into exile by the monster they had helped to create, ultimately leading to an all-out war against the faction that he usurped from them.
I just noticed that this is actually quite historically educational. Super educational.
And now we have ourselves a cackling Quackity saying that he plans to use the powers of necromancy to reanimate Schlatt as a political puppet, so now he can seize control of Manberg. Quackity, have you learned nothing? Based on the comment about Frankenstein's monster, the answer seems to be yes. It's my view that Jay Schlatt, more than being a mere villain here, is really more like a force of nature, something that people have and will continue to try and harness for their own end, with predictable results every time. Anytime someone starts thinking of seizing power for themselves, like Wilbur Soot did in the early days of Manberg, and like Quackity has done more recently, it'll end predictably, with Jay Schlatt conniving some scheme that results in him returning to the game and him eventually sitting on the throne, with the people around him being forced to do battle against the very monster they helped to create. Much like the Joker in The Dark Knight, his real power hinges on his ability to bring out the worst in others, and the only way for him to lose is for the people around him to allow their better selves to take over. Until then, Jay Schlatt will continue to be a relentless force, delivering karmic irony upon those who think they can use him as a puppet. But hey, that's just
This is the way.
the theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Wow. I did not expect that. Yes, this is surprisingly educational. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you find this video enjoyable and entertaining to watch. It's very knowledgeable and just educational. Yes, that's right. And yeah, if you do like this video, please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. Do remember to follow my channel and I'll see you next time on video. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this video. This video came out from my YouTube channel, The Game Theorist, back in the year 2021. Wait, this year? Oh, this year! Oh, one more time. Thank you so much for watching this video. This video came out this year from the YouTube channel, The Game Theorist. So yeah. If you do like this video, please remember to watch more of their videos. And for me, I'm a huge fan of their work, so huge fan. Yeah, that's right. Their videos are very entertaining, very knowledgeable, and it's just awesome to watch. Yeah. If you do like this video, please remember to drop a follow, subscribe. Yeah, just show support for them, their work. Their videos are very awesome. If you do like my videos, please like my videos. If you do like my videos, please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye. Sorry. Oh my god, the outro is so bad.